going to open up the software here. So again, we're in the new 2016 version of SolidWorks. So each thing looks a little bit different. But cameras again is essentially the same. So the add-ins come into Camera 2016, and you're just added in the same way. We've got the two previous tabs that we used to have in Camera 2015. They're still there, so we've got the workflow and Camera 2016. And then in our design tree, we have the camera feature tree, our operations tree, which we've had in the past, but we now have this new camera tool tree. So this is a really neat new feature that they've added to 2016. So if I was to open up my machine settings, we've still got that tool crib tab in here. So this is basically what it's taken is this whole tab and added it as a tab inside of your software. So it's just a lot easier to add, edit, remove tools, save the tool crib, do all that kind of information inside this tab. So you actually see that tool crib 1 selected here, and that's what's showing up inside my tool tree. So if I select the tool crib 2, I go into here, and then OK, you'll actually see I've changed my tool crib now. You'll see tool crib 2 for this particular part. If I right click on that tool crib, I have the option of editing that tool crib, so you're just coming back into that window, just another way to get into that window. I can also add a new tool from the library. I can create a new tool, so if I open up that create a new tool, I can go ahead and choose whatever tool type I'm looking for, and then actually add in different dimensions for whatever I want to change that tool to. So I can basically make my own tools inside of here, and then I can also save the tool crib to the database from inside of this right-click menu. If I right-click on a tool, I have a couple of different options. So I've still got my add a tool from the library and new tool, but I also have replace tool. So if I have a program that's already been created, I'm actually going to show you. If I open up one of these other parts here that already has tool tabs on it, and come into my tool settings, you can actually see that some of them are black. And this actually means that there's a tool tab associated to them. So this tool is being used in all of these different tool tabs. So that's kind of nice because what I can do is say, okay, I don't want my facing to be done by this tool, I want it to be done by this tool. And I can just drag them down and drop them into that tool. So all I did was select the tool tab. I'm just going to put my face mode or face turning tool path and drop it back into this tool 1 up here. I can also, by right-clicking on the tool, add in different operations based on whatever tool I'm using. So this one knows that it's a turning tool, so I won't offer turning tool path, but I can quickly just add in different tools in here. And then we've also got a couple of these settings inside the tool. So if I wanted to go back in and say add tool from the library, this window is new in 2016. So previous versions we would have a window that opened and all you could do was filter, and then it would open up the actual library. Now they've actually made this new window that has both options in one. So choose what type of tool that I'm looking for, find the tool in the list that I'm looking for, and I can filter by looking by diameter or whatever I need to see there. I'm going to give you this nice little preview up in the right-hand corner. So I can actually rotate that tool around just by holding down my middle mouse button and turning the tool. And you'll also notice that it still shows up in your graphics window as well, so you can kind of compare it to the size of holes and that kind of thing that you're looking for there. So that's still available. Another new option in 2016 is under our turning tools. We now have the option to filter. So in previous versions you couldn't actually filter the turning tools, but now I can just filter by the turn insert types. We've got all the different inserts here, insert radius, tool material, kinds of different options to filter those turn tools. So that's new. Another option that they've added is if I edit one of these tools, under my cutting parameters, if you're running your speed to speed by tool, we now have the spindle speed settings in set this meters per minute or feet per minute, whatever unit you're working in. So that's brand new. Or you can turn it off and actually put the RPM in. So we now have the meters per minute and feet per minute settings. And they've also got in the feed rate equal to settings. So that's brand new in 2016. The next option that I'm going to show you, just open up a different part here. So if I can come into this part here, as a toolpath again, I'm going to create pockets. I'm just going to pocket out this feature here, so it's just in between this little square. So if I add in a new 2.5 axis feature, and I'm going to choose my pocket as my type. In previous versions, if you wanted to select this, it would be really difficult because all of these features are on different planes. But now in 2016, as long as I'm in open chain settings for my edge selection, I can click on all of the different lines here, and you'll actually notice that it's basically creating a tool selection on this plane. I can select it back right there. Yeah, so you can actually see this little green selection here, and it's putting it on a plane, so you're not actually having to create a sketch to do that. So it's selected all the different entities and placed it on the top plane there. So if I come to my end condition, and maybe say I have to stock for that, so I'm just going to go to the bottom of the stock there. But if I flip that, you'll notice there's still some stock at the top that's still there, so it's not quite at the plane that I want it to be. But we now actually have in 2016 this second direction end condition. So I can say up to stock here, and now I've got the whole thing selected. So we now have a second direction that's available to generate the tool after those. And now that's our machine as a whole. So that's right. A nice feature in 2016 that they've added for the 2.5 axis. And another one that I will show you is on this part, which is pretty easier to see. So if I wanted to just machine this section at the top here, and I wanted to use a really small tool to get this little part here, in previous versions I wouldn't be able to select this whole thing because it actually stops here, and it has a little gap in there. I would actually have to create a sketch to select that area. So now in 2016 you can go ahead and select all of these features. And again, I'm setting on open chain. So just select the features or the edges. If I scroll down to the bottom of my selected entities, you'll notice we now have this little join area. So it's just a little incline that gets added into your selection, and it'll actually select that whole process for you and give you a joint section. So you don't have to create a sketch to select that area. You can only have one joint section right now. I assume they'll probably be adding a second joint section or multiple joint sections in future versions, but right now we just have the one joint section that you can use in these. So for end condition, I'll just come down and select the bottom, and then I can generate the operation plan and the tool path. So there's my rough mill and my contour just for that section there, and I didn't have to create a sketch to do that. So I'll drop another part to show you this other new feature. So it's just going to run our automatic feature recognition and try to find all the different visual features on this part. So what it's found is in this section in the center is what I'm concerned about, is my regular pocket here is going to machine all of this whole feature up to this plane, and then it's going to create a rectangular pocket for this bottom surface here. So sometimes maybe that's how you want to machine it, but if I wanted to maybe select this whole feature on the left-hand side first, machine that out, and then come into this whole section on the right-hand side, we can actually do that now. So if I click my camera options under my Mill Features tab, and I go down to Recognize Features by Depth, I can click on that little box there, and then regenerate my features, and now I've got a rectangular pocket on the right-hand side, and then a regular spot on the left-hand side. So that's a nice option for selecting different features. So again, Recognize Features by Depth. And you can go back and forth just by checking and unchecking that box, however you want to machine it. This is available only in the manufacturing view method, so if you're in Change to AFR, it's isn't there. So it's in manufacturing view and Recognize Features by Depth. You'll also notice on this page, from this part here, we've got some dotted lines here. So those are actually showing an error feature. So if I come actually to my regular spot side, you can see it better. These two edges here are treated as error features, so the tool will actually come off the edge here because it knows there's no wall that's going to get there. So it's actually going to show you now when you highlight the feature whether there's an error feature associated to it. And another thing that I can show on this part, if I add in a new 2.5 feature, and it can be any feature here, this is just for selection process. As long as I'm on open chain here, previously I was just kind of going around and selecting all of these little edges and going all the way around. But now if you hold Shift or Control down and just select that last edge, it'll actually loop it around for you and select that stroke there. To do that again, if I create a new feature, and I give it into a slot or something like that, any feature that you're looking for, just as long as it's on open chain, I'm going to select that first edge, and then hold Shift or Control, and select the last one. And it's going to select that whole inside feature there. So that's a really nice selection feature that they've added to 2015. If I come into my operations tree, and right click on the setup, and I want to add in an operation with it, adding it to a feature first. I can say I want to add in a new 2.5 axis with a contour in, for example. This new window is much more simplified than a previous version. So in previous versions, you would have a little arrow up at the top here saying, okay, next page, you keep going into different windows. But they've actually simplified this into one nice window. So at the top, you choose your toolpath that you're looking for, which is contour. It's going to give you a preview of what that's going to look like. You can choose a feature that's already been created, or you can create your own feature from here. So I'm just going to click on that pocket, press OK. You've got your parameter default settings, your tool settings are in here, and then your options are at the bottom. So this is all basically condensed down into one simplified window. And there's my contour. Another setting that will actually show you while we're in the contour, so I'm going to edit the definition on the contour mill. I'm going to add in a chamfer toolpath, so I just want a different tool that I can use to chamfer this part, so I'll choose a camera stick for now. If I come into my contour settings and turn on my chamfer machining, if I was to go through and add in a length of say 3 inches here, in previous versions it would let you, but now if I try to add in that length, it actually gives me this warning message that says the resultant chamfer length will be 0 for the current combination of tool diameter, chamfer length, and clearance. Please modify the tool diameter, chamfer length, or clearance. So it's basically telling you that you can't put that amount on that chamfer. So then it gives you a suggestion or like a limit. So let's just say I put in, a 1/4 inch. That's actually fairly 1/4 inch. So. And then if I want, I can do the same on the clearance. So let's say I put in 3 inches on the clearance as well. It's going to give you that same message, and then you'll actually notice that it gives me a clearance that matches that length. So what it's actually doing is eliminating the manual calculations that you had to do to enter your chamfer machine sizes into. So it'll actually give you suggestions within that window, and then I can preview that and my new chamfer. And while I'm in this part, I'm just going to generate the operation plan. And my toolpath for this one, I'm just going to go into my rough mill settings. And under my pattern in my roughing tab, I'm going to change this to volume mill. So this is a new feature in our volume mill toolpath. If we come into our settings button right beside the volume mill there, we now have a new entry method. So it's called pre-drill holes. So let's use OK there. Just preview that. You'll actually notice that it's actually added in an entry drill here. So I'm just going to click OK. So we've got the entry drill, and then our volume mill toolpath. So if I simulate that, we can step through and see the drilling process. There's my drill, and then it comes in with the grip tool there for my volume mill, and runs my volume mill toolpath, and it's all based on that entry drill point. So it basically takes the entry point out of the equation. So once people actually use an entry drill to start their volume mill, and now it's actually embedded for you for the next feature. So that's volume mill. And then if I actually go into this drilling toolpath, to do that definition, and go into my drill hole parameters, we've actually now got gun drilling that's available inside of your milling toolpath, your drill options. So we can use gun drilling. This for sure has to be available in your post-processor, so I would double check that you can actually run gun drilling in your post-processor beforehand, before trying to run this, but this is now available if you can use a machine. And then speaking of drilling, I'm just going to go into a different tool for a different part here. In our multi-axis tool path, we've actually now added drilling. So we've got a center drill here set for these holes, and then we've also got multi-axis drill tool. So if I edit the definition on that, I come into my pattern settings. You'll notice now instead of the milling, which this is the same window we had in previous versions, we now have this drop down at the top where we can choose drilling. So drilling, we would just have to specify lines to drill off of. So if I choose the line here, you actually see that I have to go into sketch to use as my drill sketch. So if I don't use it here, I'll show you the sketch that I used. So we'll use that sketch. So I've actually got a 3D sketch that I created, just that lines in the middle of all of these holes, so that my drill goes straight down the center of those holes and drill them out. So let's go back to my toolpath. You'll see that our settings, when we select the lines, I'm just going to select that drill sketch that I created. You'll see that they actually put little tiny arrows on the bottoms of all of these lines. So I can reverse the direction. Maybe I want to come up from the bottom and drill those out. So that's definitely an option. So it doesn't need to be. It'll set them in one direct way, but you can flip that direction. And then in the pattern settings, we've got lines or lines of depth. So lines, you can just add the tip length, so it's just going to go the depth of that line and then add the tip length at the end, or we can turn that off. You can actually see the picture to show you what the tip basically does. And then lines of depth is actually, drill through to the bottom of that line, and then you can actually add a further depth. So if you want to go a little bit further into that part, then you can add a depth in there as well. Okay, so that's new for multi-axis. Another new option in multi-axis is under our gouge checking. We have apply gouge checking too. Our tilt tool is the strategy, and then we've got use lead lag or side tilt angles, those two sections. So in previous versions, you could only use the min or the max values, and now you can use both, so I can set both to different values if I want to change that up. So that's for both lead lag and side tilt under our tilt tool strategy. Alright, I'm just going to close out of that part. If I come back into this right here and go to my drilling, I'm going to the whole settings and change the actual parameters to bore. And I'll generate the operation plan. So what I'm showing you is inside of the bore settings. So if the type is boring, we can actually add a dwell and a shift amount now on our boring toolpath. So the dwell would be for boring or boring as well, or back boring and side boring has been added for the shift amount. So a value basically has to be specified for the tool to move towards the center line of the feature. So this value can now be defined as that shift amount. And then boring and boring with dwell all have dwell settings in there as well. So and again, this has to be handled by your post processor. So we have to make sure that the post can handle that, and then you can go ahead and use the boring settings. Another feature that I will show you is just in our mill turn options. So in our toolpath within mill turn, if I just edit one of these toolpaths, under my NC tab, we now have an advanced approach and retract setting. So if I turn that on and press the define button, just open up a little preview window here, you can actually see the different approach and retract settings that are inside of here. So if I change them around, you can actually see it move in the preview and show you what you're actually setting. So see in the next, I can turn that auto press on and it'll actually use the clearance. I can change it to none or X and Z, same with the other one, so it sends the different options in here. And then you've also got the retract position, so you can set it to the absolute preset, which is the point that the actual toolpath will start at, after your program will start at, or you can change it to a date index and actually set up a new position. So a couple different options inside that window, and again, that's for your mill turn toolpath under the NC tab, and you just have to turn on that use advanced approach and retract. Speaking of turning, if we go into one of our turning toolpaths, so the definition on that turn tool, you'll actually see we now have a D-axis incremental angle under the folder settings. So again, as long as your machine can handle the D-axis, we can actually tilt that tool. And then you'll actually see the tool being tilted right on the screen, so you can kind of see whether that's actually going to cut that the way you want it to be cut. So D-axis can be set up now in our turning tools. And that doesn't have to be in mill turn, that can be in standard turning as well. Another option for turning that I'm going to show you is actually in the technology database. So we're now in the 2016 database under turning and features and operations again. You'll notice we now have a sub-material group under our turning features and operations, which wasn't there in previous versions. So in any of these feature types, they all now have a sub-material group setting. Another thing while we're in the tech database, if I come into my user-defined strategies, and this could be for any machine, so it doesn't just have to be for turning, we now have the option to copy a strategy or to delete the strategy. So depending on what strategy you're in, so maybe a face feature, maybe I want to take that course strategy and copy it, so I can press this copy button. It creates a course copy strategy. And if I close out of this, and it's my features and operations, this is my face feature. So we had course, there were 4 different strategies associated to that with different sizes, and so within course options. Now I actually have a course copy, and what I can do is I can go in and make changes to those to make it slightly different than whatever I copied. So if you're just making 1 or 2 changes, it's really easy to now create that toolpath for that strategy. And then we can go back into feature defined and find that new feature course copy. I can select that, and then I can actually delete it as well. And this is a nice little warning box because it actually says that it's going to be deleting all of these different features. So there's quite a few different strategies that are associated with it, so you are deleting all of the course copy strategies. So it's going to give you a nice little warning beforehand. So that's the tech database, and the next thing I'm going to show you is actually a setup sheet. So if I right click on the NC manager, go to my setup sheet and generate, we have 2 new options at the bottom of the setup sheet now. So we can generate part assembly images based on an orientation. So right now it's just going to create isometric views, but you can turn on however many you want and make as many images as you want. And these are actually going to go to show you. Camera options under our file locations tab. We've actually got a location right here where all of these images are going to go to. So you can create your own setup sheet to use these images, or you can use the templates that are already provided. So setup sheet generate. So we've got generate part assembly images, and we've also got generate tool images. So we'll actually create pictures of all the tools as well. And we've got a few different templates that work with these in here. So mill turn tooling would actually create use these tool images and create a template that uses all the tool images there. So based on the template that you use, I'll use whichever images that you're saving in. And the next thing that I'm going to show you is under our rebuild options. So if I right click on the NC manager, and so it has to be under the feature tree, so right click on the NC manager, we have rebuild here. In previous versions we just had rebuild, we now have a light rebuild available. And you can also go to tools, Camworks, rebuild, or light rebuild. So what light rebuild does is basically rebuilds any changes that have been made to your IFR feature, so your interactively inserted features. So if you added features manually, those ones would be rebuilt if you just use light rebuild. And then if you want to use, want to regenerate or rebuild the features that were created by your strategy features, then you would use the full rebuild. Another new feature that's been added to 2016 is something called the default feature strategies. So you can select that from your command manager here, or again the tools, Camworks, and default feature strategies. We'll just open that window up. So this is a really nice feature because you don't have to go into the tech database to find your default feature strategies. This is just a really quick window to use that feature in. So both mill and turn are in here, so you've got both of your feature settings in here. And then we've got all of the different features that are available and the actual strategy that's it's set to. So you just kind of turn that on and change the strategy to whatever you want to change it to, and actually change that default strategy. And you can apply that to the part that you're working on, or you can save that to the technology database. So the settings, you can save it back to the database, and it'll actually save all the defaults that you've changed. It'll save them all back as your main default. So then as you open, it'll use those on. So that's a really nice new window that they've added, just so that you don't have to kind of go into the technology database to try and find all your defaults and that kind of thing. Okay. And then if we come back to the mill part, if I go into my part setup instead of my operations tree, and choose edit definition, under my origin settings, we now have a new default origin that it's defaults to. So it's the top center of the part. It used to default to the teacher position, which could be basically anywhere. So it's now the top center of the part model, where it'll actually default your origin to. We have the top center, mid center, bottom center of the part model in here. That's always been in here. Now in the stock vertex, they've also added top, mid, and bottom for the actual stock material. So if your stock's a little bit larger or kind of a wonky shape, it'll actually choose the center of the stock instead of the center of the part. So you can actually choose that here. And they've also added a nice new image of the actual stock, so you can actually see kind of that little hidden stock or ghosted stock there. So if you were to go ahead and choose maybe a vertex that was out in space, it's actually now on the stock corner. In previous versions, you would be able to actually see that stock. So they've added that in there. And the last thing that I want to show you is actually in our wire EDM machine. So if I change the machine here to wire, and I'm going to just right click on that machine and choose edit settings. Under my EDM setup page, in previous versions, we just had this list of wire diameters, so the standard wire diameters right here. You can now use this edit wire sizes, and it'll actually let you add in whatever size you're looking for. So you can type in either an inch or metric. It'll actually add in both versions. So you can delete ones that are in the list, you can add to that list, you can insert in different areas of that list. That's a nice new addition to the EDM setting, so we can definitely specify what kind of wire diameter we're looking for. And that's pretty much it. So if you are looking at attending any more webinar Wednesdays in December, here's a list of them. They're also on our website, definitely check those out. And thank you for attending. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact us. Thanks.
Hello and welcome to today's webinar on CamWorks 2016. We're going to focus on what's new in December. My name is Robert French. I'm an applications engineer. So that will jump straight into the webinar day. So for today's webinar, we're going to be looking at what's new in CamWorks 2016. We're going to frame that in the context of a typical workflow. We're going to look at how the improvements can help us in an average day-to-day task. So in a typical workflow, we have a CamWorks interface. We'll look at the improvements to that. Feature creation, if you see a lot of help making manual or inserting manual features is already easier now. Lots of improvements there. We'll look at the tooling organization. Lots of new options with tooling, making it easier for you to select the right tools. And lastly, we'll look at the improvements to the tech database. Just want to point out some of the additional resources available to you. First and foremost, there's the What's New PDF. It has a total list. I'm not going to be able to cover every single new feature, so there's a total list there that you can reference at a future date. There's also the Go Engineer website. If you go to our website, on the top, you have a search bar where you can search for existing CamWorks videos, blogs, technical papers, all kinds of resources that Go Engineer developed over the years that you can reference at any time and use as an additional learning resource. And lastly, you guys all have access to tech support. Tech support number is found on our website in the top right corner. You can call anytime, questions concerning CamWorks, and yep. So with that, we're going to jump straight into the software. So when we jump into the software, a few things you might notice if you're coming from, especially if you're coming from 2015 SolidWorks, it's a slightly different color scheme for some of the icons in 2016, but it's all the same old icons you guys use for years, so just a little bit of an update with color. One other thing I'll point out quickly, and we'll cover a little bit more in depth as we go on this webinar, is an additional tab that's been added to the manager tree here for tool tree for CamWorks. So this is a quick way to access your existing toolkit and make changes like add, replace, delete, things like that. I'll jump into specifics on that here in a little bit. Alright, cool. So we're going to go ahead and start like a typical workflow on this part, a way I typically address a part like this. I'm just going to go ahead and extract machine-able features. I'm going to generate my operation plan. And I'm going to generate tool tasks. I'm doing this just to see where my current tech database status can, what it would provide you with in a typical workflow like that. So there's a simulation here, and I apologize, I'll finish here pretty quickly. Alright, I'll just use this before to verify tool tasks. And what I'm doing here is just once again double checking that my tech database is well suited and can handle the part automatically. So I've already seen a couple errors here where I'm not recognizing features correctly, order of operations is a little bit out of order, and it definitely takes some changes to start my operations. So I want to compare. I can see that this rectangular slot here hasn't really been found, and one of the key causes of that is this interrupt that we have when we're trying to find the profile for this particular slot. So this is going to require us to do some manual feature creation. So I'm going to jump back into my feature tree tab. The setup we want to be is obviously this first setup in the top. So right click, do some enhance access feature. So lots of improvements, like I said, to feature creation, lots of added functionality in making selections. So this is a typical situation where we would normally come in and use Sketchline to kind of bridge this gap and use that as a selectable entity and draw a sketchline around this entire profile. In 2016, we have a lot of functionality once again. And if I jump in here with OpenChain, I can first make selections. And one quick thing you'll notice right here, so I get this red line that starts at the beginning of my first entity and ends at the end of my last selected entity. If any of you have that term before, this might be a little bit familiar. It's typically called a join feature. What it does is it bridges interrupts in part geometry. So I can continue to select, see the take line update to kind of create that last side to my feature profile. So we run into another problem here where we don't have an entity to select on the same plane where I select my first three entities. In Camworks 2016, you can actually choose entities from different planes. So this entity is, right in line with what I want to use. I just have to bridge the gap using this vertical entity here, and now I'm able to choose this entity down on a different plane, and my feature profile continues to update, including that new joint feature. So I continue to move around and make selections. I can finish off my profile, and I see this vertical entity right here. And then we created this feature profile with two new Camworks 2016 editions. The fact that we can jump between different planes, grab entities, and this joint command that bridges this final gap right here. Set my end condition, I see down to the bottom. One second, one step, that's pocket, I need to use corner slot. So another quick thing you'll notice right here, when we're defining slots, I typically have open air entities. In Camworks 2016, open air entities are represented with these dash lines to make it very clear what open entities you have defined. Right now everything's defined as an open entity, so in this new panel over here, which has been mostly cleaned up and simplified for 2015, I can jump in and change each of those air segments to solid segments. And I can see my feature. There it is. Awesome. So I'm going to set this up for order of operation sakes. Generate my operation plan. And generate my tool tests. Now I can see those tool tests coming in there, cleaning out, ignoring this kind of odd feature that interrupts what would otherwise be a very simple feature. Just a quick point of reference, I'll point out some more functionality in creating features. I already have this pocket created. I'm going to recreate it just to show you guys more functionality. I no longer have to choose edges. Edge selection can be a little difficult. You can always turn on your edge filter in Camworks, but I already solved for this. But now in Camworks 2016, I can actually choose faces instead of edges. So this can make feature creation a lot simpler. Selection makes it a lot easier, and it makes dealing with non-normal features that have some little oddities to their edges, things like that, makes it a lot simpler. So just an end condition, one other thing I'll point out is we've always had these great functionality with these end conditions, up to face, up to surface. You can simply click the bottom of this pocket, and I've got my definition. Additionally, in Camworks 2016, we now have a direction to our end condition. Now, we don't have quite the same functionality here. We don't have line up to stop. That still gives us great methods for complex features where our profile needs